Do you struggle to get the emotional truth of your story on the page? So many writers do. So many writers do. And one of the reasons for this is, first of all, I just want to like take a little pressure off you and say it's not your fault, but you have to begin to feel your own emotional experience. And that's hard in a culture that tells us like what we're feeling isn't okay. And we've probably all been shut down on some level for being too sensitive or being too much or being too whatever. So when we're writing, sometimes that emotionality piece can either come out as really melodramatic, overdone, or, and so that it's not actually doesn't feel real. And then, or it's like, are these robots? What's going on? And so what I encourage writers to do is to check in with your own emotional experience. Start small, don't go into trauma. I don't want anyone to go into trauma response. And there's lots of teachers. If you're writing a traumatic experience, you need support. I'm just going to say that straight up so that you don't re-traumatize yourself. But in terms of like checking in with how you feel when you feel disappointed, let's say what Pema Chodron calls little cares, like if you really want a parking spot in front of your favorite restaurant and you can't find one, so you have to walk 3 blocks. How does that feel? You know, or if you miss a connection with a good friend, how does that feel? When you are down at the river and everyone seems happy and you kind of get infected with that joy, how does that feel? And so to not just name it, not just to think about what it feels like, but to actually take a moment or two to notice how it feels in your body. Because when we can bring emotion, an emotional response to our character's body, or in the case of memoir, into our younger person's body, then we have a greater chance of transmitting that emotional experience to our reader. So there's lots of other ways to work with emotion, but this is a really good way to start. And to just kind of, I've created a field guide, what I'm calling a field guide for writers to check in with themselves and do a little bit of investigation, like field research on how their emotional experience is embodied, how it is, how it plays out, because emotions don't always come out really clean and simple. There's often overlays. So say there's embarrassment. Embarrassment shows up. We don't like feeling embarrassed. I don't like feeling embarrassed. What I do when I'm embarrassed is I try and busy myself and turn myself away from the person or the situation so no one sees my embarrassment. You may have a different style of embarrassment. Maybe you laugh louder, maybe you get really angry. So there's all sorts of emotional layers that actually, if we bring into our story, make our story really vital and interesting. And I want that for you, and I want that for your story. So you can check out the field guide. We'll drop the information below and let me know how it goes.